Libraries work with many languages and cannot hire staff who understand all of them. Of course, these languages come in a variety of written scripts, and in order for a library to have as diverse representation of languages, some accommodations are needed to provide standardized access. Over years, different standards were established to transliterate these scripts into Roman script, often with diacritics or special markings designed to approximate phonetics and other challenges. The diacritics allow for one Latin-based letter to account for multiple letters in scripts that have several sounds built around the same letter. For example, transliterations using the letter C use several different diacritics, but will also appear in library search without the diacritics. Understanding the use of this is important because originally these systems were meant to be reversible by computer. Theoretically, computer software is coded to take the script and automatically change it back and forth from the transliteration to its original script. This is much more complicated than it seems, and the software for standardizing such practice is a work in progress. Libraries use standardized transliteration systems managed by the Library of Congress. These systems can be easily found online here. These systems are occasionally edited and updated by groups of language and library systems experts with the goal of eventually reaching the theoretical promise of automated reversibility. The idea that these systems can change over time is important to understand. When searching, you need to know that sometimes letters that were once used to represent a letter or character in another script may have changed. Take this example from Khmer. The letter Q was initially used to begin a word that had no initial consonant in the Khmer script. Later, the Q was dropped in favor of a simple apostrophe. Notice other changes in the two words. Sometimes human error can result in additional alternative transliterations. Here you can see the same word in Khmer, but it is transliterated in a third way. Here you can see another variation, and yet another. Human error is one reason why transliterated scripts in library catalogs can be difficult to find and use. Librarians do try to fix these mistakes when possible, but the sheer volume of material makes it difficult to fix every mistake. The original scripts for many languages are now used in library catalog records, most times with the transliteration still maintained in the record so that library staff and patrons who don't know the language can still work with the materials. So why haven't the original scripts been added to older records to make searching easier for people who do know the language? That would be ideal, but also expensive. Because these systems don't work as well as originally planned, either by faulty design or human error, it is difficult to reverse the transliteration automatically. As of now, each reversed record would need to be edited by a human, which is very costly and time-consuming. Eventually, a very good language software program might be able to get around this issue, but developing one has not been prioritized to date. Here are some general tips for searching the catalog in languages with non-Latin based scripts. Ignore the diacritics. Diacritics are important to the systems in theory, but they are ignored in library catalog searches. The lack of diacritics may make it difficult to read the transliteration in your search terms, but you can and should ignore them when searching for terms in the catalog. For example, searching for this word brings up the same results as this word. Even the experts get it wrong sometimes, so when searching for a transliterated term, try to think of all the ways someone might have made a mistake when entering that term into a catalog record. Then add those variations to your search. Think of the mistakes made in the Khmer examples earlier in the video. Eventually, you will become more aware of common mistakes and more able to find records even when the experts got it wrong. You can often skip the process of transliterating terms yourself by limiting your search to your target language in the library catalog, but searching for a term in English. Look through the search results to find a record that has both the English term and the corresponding transliterated term. Copy the term and paste it in another search for more results. This works because sometimes titles are translated in the record, or the search term ends up as a subject term in the record. Keep a spreadsheet of common terms you use so you don't have to repeatedly spell them out in the transliterated system when you want to search the catalog. Search for a term using the original script, then find a record that includes the transliterated term. You can use these transliterations to conduct more searches for transliterated records. Grab a book off of the library shelf that you know contains a keyword in the title that you would like to search for in the catalog. Then use the call number search to find the catalog record for that book, so you can copy the transliterated term for future use. Many language scripts do not include spaces between words, which can make it difficult at times to judge where to add a space in the transliteration. On top of that, it's not always clear whether or not a single term should be 1, 2, or even more words when transliterated. This can cause difficulties when searching for that term in the library catalog. Try searching for different combinations of spacing within one term. When searching only in the original script, sometimes a term was not entered properly and will not show up in your search because the computer can't recognize it as an individual word. In the previous example, the record with the original Thai script does not show up in this search. Instead, you must use the full phrase where it shows up in the title without spaces. When searching in the catalog, don't forget to use both the transliterated term and the original script term in order to find newer records with the script entered properly, newer records with the script entered wrong, and older records with only the transliterated term. Ask a librarian who may be familiar with the languages you're working in for help. They might have some tips and tricks specific to your language needs. If you want to become a transliteration expert yourself, start by carefully reviewing the transliteration guide for the language you work with. Then practice transliterating a few words. Then check the catalog to see if you got it right. You'll find links to the American Library Association Library of Congress Romanization tables in the description below. After a fair amount of practice, you too can become an expert.